Sorry, been a while. I was finishing my school year, it's break for a while again, and spent my free time on other hobbies. Also was unmotivated to continue this video for some time since my notes were messy, so I had to take time to find where to continue again and organize my thoughts. Anyway, now I really want to get into the love pentagons more. I want to understand and also make it clear to all of you what exactly Adrien feels for Kagami, what Marinette feels for Luka, and what causes these feelings. I also want to compare those feelings to Adrien's feelings for Marinette and Ladybug's feelings for Cat Noir. It's gotten kinda confusing because it's obvious that Adrien has some feelings for Marinette, and it's the same with Ladybug and Cat Noir. But now there's this, too. One difference between these relationships that stands out to me right now is how the feelings for the new love interest develop really fast while it's much slower for our main characters. The bubbles are already there when Adrien first sees Kagami, and here's what he says in the Miraculous Secrets YouTube video, Kagami as seen by Adrien, about when he first sees her.
Truth is, I was momentarily stunned. And when I saw Kagami again in the next class, I felt things for her that I had never felt before.
The literal next class! That's like what, the second time you see each other? Marinette already starts stuttering a bit and getting nervous around Luka when she first meets him, so it seems to me that these relationships are more about physical attraction at the start. It develops to liking more of their personalities later, but if it's feeling something before you even get to know them really well, then the feelings really aren't that strong. Also, I highly believe that there's something about these two that remind our main characters of the ones they love, so it's not just about physical attraction. Kagami be fighting like a cool girl and she has the blue hair and red outfit. Her name literally means mirror, though she could also be a mirror for Adrien. For Luka, I don't know, he might remind Marinette of Adrien because he's so nice. I think so. He's been presented as a super gentle character.
I like Luka, he's really nice.
Anyway, for the relationships in my sign series, you can see that it's a gradual process that grows through appreciating personality more and more, so it's really meaningful. It's a common thing that love is slow, while infatuation or attraction is quick. So far, the levels of feelings is probably like this. By the way, I'm not even sure if the word crush is still fitting for my science series, but I'll just keep it that way so it's simple and that's what everyone's used to. Let me compare the two sides of relationships some more from what we see so far. And this is not about whether or not Marinette likes Luka a little or Adrien with Kagami, because it's obvious that there's attraction. To repeat, I want to understand what the feelings are exactly. Okay, so it's clear that Marinette seems to be blushing a lot around Luka, definitely more than we've seen with Cat. Adrien also blushes once, I think, when it came to Kagami. But the thing is, as I mentioned before, a person can blush because of different emotions, like mainly embarrassment or also anger, which I cancelled out for this scene, the one time I think Ladybug blushes in reaction to Cat in the show. And when I was watching the lukanette scenes together, I was like, oh wait a minute. Marinette seems to blush a lot whenever Luka's complimenting her about something. So let's take a clearer look at why people blush. Sources in the description. According to an article on Insider by Talia Lakritz, blushing happens because stress of some kind triggers the release of adrenaline, which increases blood flow near your skin. In the same article, it says, even weirder, blushing can also result from positive attention, like receiving a compliment, or due to the thrill of meeting an attractive person's eyes. An article from Psychology Today by Mary C. Lamia describes it as pretty much a reaction of heightened self-consciousness, and later says, such as in the self-consciousness of being physically attracted to another person. It could include worrying about what people think about you, or guilt too, if it's partly caused by self-consciousness. Later, Lamia continues that such self-consciousness may lead you to avoid eye contact. She sums it up saying it's an honest response due to the thrill of being caught by someone attractive or because of embarrassment. Okay, the reason I go through all this is because it really seems that the blushing in the show might happen for different reasons. I mean, if you think back about Nathaniel blushing in Reverser, he seems to blush due to anger. Julica blushes due to nervousness in Reflectall. Kate Townshend, who wrote an article for The Atlantic, repeated something to support what I mentioned about her own experience, which is that she would sometimes blush because of concentration, praise, and sudden attention. She mentions what I think is a good point when she says, yet in the literary world at least, blushing's ambiguity can be an incredibly useful device. A writer can paint a character's face red and leave readers to figure out the meaning. That could be applied to films or shows, like Miraculous. Maybe that's what they're doing. So now, to look at Mary's and Adrien's blushing when it comes to Luka and Kagami, in Silencer, when Luka confesses to her in akumatized form, she's a little confused, but starts blushing when he says all these nice things about her. She's also blushing the whole time at the end when he confesses again as his normal self. She blushes when he plays her perfect tune in progress, which she says is incredible. So I see all this as blushing because of concentration, praise, and sudden attention, which 𝗀 talks about. This is not to say that she isn't blushing because she's attracted to him, because we don't exactly know why she blushes. I'm saying she could be blushing for other reasons, not necessarily attraction. However, when 𝐿𝐺𝐴𝐺 plays a song about her at the end of Pixelator, this is how she looks and is not blushing. She doesn't always blush when she receives compliments, and she doesn't exactly know how to react during the evil illustrator's confession, unlike with Silencer. So basically, I think the blushing might be caused by a mix of some attraction and something that's not really attraction. Or maybe later in the show they decided to add more color to their faces. I'll talk about her other actions that could indicate attraction to Luka. Obviously, if we see the bubbles and she's smiling like that after he looks at her, there's an element of attraction in the scene. She's really excited at the idea that Luka might feel the same as Silencer when he confesses.
Perhaps Luka feels the same way. Do you think?
In this scene, before Luka confesses again, she looks down, scratches her head with her hand near her mouth, body language that I've mentioned before in a scene with 𝗀𝐵 and 𝐶at, showing submission, shyness, or nervousness. But this blushing could also be because of the slight awkwardness or embarrassment of asking him about it. I mean, she's blushing for a long time at the end there, and another scene where she's blushing for a long time is at the beginning of 𝐺𝐺 Titan, when Alya is revealing her crush on Adrien to the rest of the girls. So both scenes could have an element of blushing due to embarrassment.
And the stage clothes you designed, Marinette.
How she looks here is similar to when she seems nervous around Adrien in the imaginary scene in 𝐺𝐺 Titan, though, or to how Nathaniel looks when he thinks he's meeting Ladybug. It's also similar to how Adrien looks down after 𝗀𝐵 says she trusts 𝐶at Noir and 𝗺zie. So this body language could again win a point for attraction.
Now I understand why Kagami speaks so much about you. Your father has raised you to be a refined young man.
In this scene, Adrien's blushing is also similar to the 𝗺zie scene, so yeah, there could also be some attraction, but remember what I said about sudden compliments as well, and in both scenes there was complimenting. In this scene, the blushing could be due to the thrill of meeting an attractive person's eyes, which 𝐿𝐶𝐿 mentioned in her article. We also have to note Mary's attraction to Luka because of the difference between how she reacts overall to his confession and to Nathaniel's. Nathaniel's okay to her. On the Lady Noir side, there are two times that 𝗀𝐵 blushes around 𝐶at, 𝗫𝐵𝐿𝐴tor and in the miraculous 𝗺blive episode, both of which I'd talked about in previous videos. If 𝗀𝐵 blushes right after 𝐶at kisses her in 𝗫𝐵𝐿𝐴tor, then it's an attraction blush, and I don't think there are other reasons for the blushing. It's the same in catnip fragrance. She blushes because he's getting close, and I mentioned how she could be trying to hide her feelings. So for these, I'm more sure that it's because of attraction and not something else. In the area of blushing, which side wins? Which side is stronger? Well, I can't say for certain because again, we don't know exactly why Mary is blushing in some lukanette scenes and to what extent it's due to attraction or not quite attraction. So my answer would have to be undecided, or a tie. What kind of attraction is actually in these specific lukanette and adrigami scenes? Well, the blushing articles talk a lot about physical attraction causing some blushing, which is more superficial. However, sometimes Adrien and Marinette blush because of compliments, so they might like that Luka or Kagami think of them in that good way. But again, earlier I talked about how these feelings happen way too fast, so I think their feelings are that deep. So, overall, I'd say just because Marinette blushes a lot around Luka so far, and Adrien there once because of Kagami, it's not a strong thing to use to compare to their feelings for 𝐶at and Marinette, because the nature of it could mainly be because of physical or surface attraction. Now I want you to notice how we've seen Luka, 𝐶at Noir, and Kagami akumatized, and also how our main characters react to that. 𝐶at also thinks Marinette gets akumatized.
I'm so sorry, this is all my fault!
Of course not, 𝐶at Noir. It's Tom.
Huh?
No matter.
Let's take a look at Uni-chan.
You and I were made for each other, Adrien.
Kagami?
I'll protect you from Lila.
She's not dangerous, she just craves attention.
What she deserves is punishment.
Kagami, no!
Adrien's reaction's pretty normal. He's just surprised that another person he knows is akumatized. He seems to react in the same way when other classmates are akumatized.
While the cat's away, the mice will play.
Nino?
He seems to yell because he doesn't want Kagami to attack Lila because right before that, he replies to her about how Lila's not dangerous but just craves attention. On the other hand, for Marinette, this is how he reacts.
I messed up. I really messed up! Marinette!
You could say that he feels worse since he thinks he's responsible for the emotional pain. But in comparison, he still yells out of concern when it came to Mary. And remember how hard he tries to fight for her. That's not all. There were 3 points in the episode where he's clearly upset if he hurt Marinette, including that scene.
She's gonna be so sad. Whew, I really didn't want to hurt you, Marinette. You seem like such an awesome person.
It's cute! They're putting emphasis on something again. Later in Oni-chan, he realizes that Kagami likes him romantically.
Adrien is perfection personified! The only one I will ever love!
What?
He still appears to like Ladybug at this point, though,
Yes, milady. It's the girl of my dreams.
and fights Kagami like any other akumatized victim. But at the end, he ignores the fist bump with Ladybug and takes Kagami home. I think he's showing more care toward Kagami at this point after learning about her feelings. Him offering to take her home came after him picking up the rose she got from him in a caring way. Why ignore the fist bump, though? Could it represent something coming between Elby and Kat's dual relationship? There's some point being made when both Kagami and Luka were akumatized because both of them ended up confessing during those times. When they returned to their normal selves, both Cat Noir and Ladybug knelt to talk to them.
What happened?
You were akumatized, but everything's fine now.
Maybe the relationships in the Love Square took a major turn after these confessions happened, because of these confessions. By the way, Ladybug's really excited for the fist bump with him.
Pound it!
Who is she, Sonic? And with her arms stretched out and one leg bent like some little lady. This scene with Kagami seems to be special because her body language stands out, and Kat does choose Kagami over her in a way for the first time. But that's not all. Remember Adrien's face in Frozer? I really like this name 𝗀𝐿𝐶𝐿𝐿 coined in the comments. The little pig face. Ladybug also has a similar little pig face. Also looks like the one she makes in Riposte when she sees Adrien and Kagami. To silence her. When Luka gets akumatized, like Adrien with Kagami, Marinette's also just surprised, then talks to him about justice.
Don't worry, Marinette. I would never hurt you. I will use the power Hawkmoth has given me to restore justice.
Don't do that, Luka! That's revenge, not justice!
When Cat Noir is akumatized, she talks to him in such a gentle way and tries to help him out of it.
You've been akumatized, Cat Noir. You don't need my miraculous. You need me to de-evilize you. Let me help you.
Save me.
My poor kitty. Tell me, do you remember where the Akuma went?
They created Cat Blanc's character in such a way that she would act sensitively toward him. I don't know if it's just because they felt like it for the plot or they were showing relationship development. A scene like this, though. Oh ho ho ho.
You will always be Cat Noir to me.
The cute ending is mostly a result of Ladybug being in a scary situation fighting her powerful partner by herself, so she must have felt relieved to have him back and for things to be back to normal.
I did it.
But leaning on him, an act of more closeness, seems to show that she's glad he's still there by her side. They could have just sat up straight together like platonic partners and stared out at the horizon. Something to also take note of is the parallel between this scene and the Star Train one. Ew! Could there also be another sort of parallel between Backwater and Star Train? When Adrien sits next to Kagami and Marinette, he has earphones plugged in. Adrien didn't act in any special way toward Kagami. It's been a while on the train and they don't really connect. But when Marinette's there, the creators decided to have a cute scene like that. A short while before, sitting next to Marinette, Adrien isn't using earphones, so to have both scenes similar, were they making some point? Adrien acts different toward Kagami later. A lot of the time he seems pretty polite and casual toward her. So is this before the confession? Apparently so, according to Kagami as seen by Adrien.
We even spent a whole weekend in London together, and I feel like it brought us closer. Because since then, she's sometimes proven pretty protective of me. I think she may actually have feelings for me.
In Desperata, Alex does get the feeling that Marinette likes Luka a lot, seeing some sort of clear relationship between them. Marinette says that Luka is just a friend, which we know is the phrase of denial, and Alya rolls her eyes. Again, I'm not throwing all of lukanette out the window, the signs are there. She has to shake her head to refocus twice after being distracted by her feelings for him. She also shakes her head in Gamer 2.0 after being angry about how Gamer sets up a fight between her and Cat sacrifices himself. It's an interesting thing to note. Also, let's take a look at the end card in Silencer. I noticed something interesting. Cat Noir is larger than Ladybug is for some reason, and notice the kitty section band members. Where are their masks and costumes? Luca is the only one wearing a kitty mask, and it's shown near Cat Noir. A lightning bolt like the one on the mask even seems to be in the background. In the same episode, there had to be this additional scene.
See you soon, my kitty.
I love when she calls me that.
Luca looks similar to Cat. Could it be that he also has qualities that remind Marinette of Cat? There's more of a focus on cats as the show progresses. The Season 2 intro, cat memes, Marinette's Instagram. By the way, I received comments saying maybe Marinette has cat stickers because she becomes Lady Noir, but Adrien doesn't have stickers that suggest he'd be Mr. Bug. Two people pointed something out in Heart Hunter. Nice catch! When Kagami, Adrien, and Marinette are running out of the hotel, Adrien not only turns to Marinette instead of Kagami, but he's also holding her hand. They could have animated all three of them holding hands and running together, just like in the ball pit scene, or none of them holding hands. It's a quick flash to possibly reveal who Adrien likes more. I also want to talk about something symbolic, which is Marinette with her hair down. She ties her hair back up after she thinks she sees chemistry between Adrien and Kagami, so in the time she keeps it down, it probably means something. After all, it also seems unnecessary to have Marinette with her hair down in the episode, especially since it didn't even stay down that long. But we can make a connection to Cat Blanc.
Just why is her hair down?
I think it symbolizes Adriennette, or their feelings on that side of the love square. When 𝗀്cie and Cat are fighting together as a couple in Cat Blanc, 𝗀്cie's hair is up, even though the out-of-place loose hair probably indicates an alternate timeline. Adrien isn't surprised about it being down, like it's always been that way. So when Adrien says,
Wow, it's the first time I've seen you with your hair down.
when there's music playing in the background as he gazes at Marinette with his eyebrows raised while Kagami's eyebrows stay the same, and when they're running out of the building holding hands at the same time that her hair is down, it's probably significant. Mary thinks of moving on, but what about Adrien's feelings toward her now?
I've realized that you're not just a friend to me. I've always felt like you were more than that.
This is going to sound really cheesy, but his feelings are going to be released like that hair. Speaking of symbols, I thought of something else in the same episode thanks to Christiana Combs. First of all, Marinette and Adrien smile at each other in this scene as if there's a little something between them and Kagami's out of it. Nice job, Christiana, for noticing the umbrella symbol.
Could you bring us some drink umbrellas?
I completely didn't notice, but yeah, it's an Adriennette thing again. When Marinette's in the kitchen about to get the umbrellas ready, she pulls out one red drink umbrella. Wait a sec. The umbrella in the scene where Marinette's feelings toward Adrien took a turn with a fuda is black! Adrien, Cat Noir, Marinette, Ladybug. It seems that it's almost time for their feelings to flip. The signs keep leading up. The metaphors related to the adrigami and lukanette relationships are the target and tune. Wait, both metaphors are created by Kagami and Luca. Music is very much more of Luca's thing, and fencing is really important to Kagami. Ooh, these metaphors mostly seem one-sided, while any possible Adriennette symbol is from a romantic moment that Adrien and Marinette share. I noticed something interesting about how Adrien and Mary react when Kagami or Luca are hit by some Akuma power. Watch one of the scenes on Adrien's side first, in Desperata. See, isn't that strange? No reaction, not even a sound. No effort in the voice acting for this part. Nothing. Here's how he reacts to Ladybug getting hit, by the way.
No! Don't go in there alone. You'll never pull this off by yourself.
Give me my lady back!
Marinette!
Kagami!
All he does is say a simple, Kagami, and Marinette's just like,
Luca? Oh no, not those again!
Of course, maybe it's a panicky moment, and Marinette seems a little confused about what's happening. But it's interesting how they set it up in a way that there's not much of a reaction from Adrien and Marinette. And actually, these scenes are also similar in the way that Adrien hugs Kagami closer while Luca hugs Marinette closer. But look! Kagami's blushing, and Marinette isn't. And like I said, she seems confused too, just like Kagami. In the moment, they don't know what the guys pulling them closer means. I noted another similarity between Luka and Kat in the finales. When Marinette is hurt, Luka comforts her and acts as a shoulder to cry on, which is great for her right now. When she feels insecure as Ladybug, Kat's there for her. To have both of them comfort her may or may not be intentional. 𝗀𝐿𝐵 says something that stood out to me too.
Thanks, Kat. You're always here for me.
Luka is new to this. Kat has been there first.
I knew I wasn't the right one for this job.
No, he's wrong, because without you, she'd no longer be here. And because without us, they won't make it. And we'll prove that to them. Trust me on this, okay?
The nostalgia! When Ladybug or Marinette becomes upset, I think Kat would be the most qualified to be there for her after all they've gone through.
They don't need other people. These other people cheering them up is something that they can do for themselves.
I also realized that Luka has his arms around Mary, but she doesn't. And Kagami wraps her arms around Adrien in a really forward manner, but he doesn't. When they almost kiss, Adrien abruptly moves away, and Marinette also pushes away from Luka after feeling a sense of awkwardness. In contrast, when Kat comforts Ladybug, both of them have their arms around each other in a hug, and none of them move away since they're comfortable with each other, again showing that they have a stronger relationship. Marinette pushing away shows that she doesn't know Luka that well for the hugging to feel completely fine. So how much less does any romantic attraction she has for Luka have a good foundation? Speaking of almost kisses, remember the horrificator scene I mentioned in Science Part 2? Adrien pulls Marinette closer and leans in first, while Kagami is the one leaning in this episode, while Adrien seems uncertain and uninterested with his arms down. Actually, 3 times in Heart Hunter, Kagami's the initiator. With that kiss, with the ice cream, and with the first kiss attempt. Pulling up Despair Bear, Adrien's the initiator, leaning in for the dance and when he teases Marinette. Now, I was slightly confused and bothered the first time watching when Adrien eats the ice cream stick abruptly during the first kiss as if he's excited. But he may also be nervous or surprised and doesn't know how to react. He's still partly willing to go for it and let it happen. For the second kiss, he's also closing his eyes, but the end screen captures this specific expression in the middle of it to emphasize his other thoughts about it, and that he doesn't return the feelings.
I think I wasn't really ready.
It's not that he's not ready, but she's not the right target. He's really conflicted in the episode. Remember, something that's the same for Kagami and Luka is that they both tell our main characters that they will be there for them in a time period that they're feeling heartbroken. After Ladybug rejects Kat, Kagami's there and cheers Adrien up just a little, later saying,
The day you realize you've got the wrong target, I'll be here.
When Marinette's upset about being a friend, Luka's there with his guitar and pretty much calls Adrien a In the episode Felix, the guy says,
You know, I'll be really happy for you and Adrien if it works out. And if it doesn't, I'll be here for you.
Luka's so sweet, I swear! We must protect! He's an angel, oh my gosh! Anyway, they both cheer up our kiddos in Frozer, the same episode, for emphasis that they influence their feelings in a similar way. In the beginning Frozer scene, remember Kagami tells Adrien that his mistake is the wrong target, not the wrong technique, and Adrien gives her the rose right after she says change targets. But then, after some scenes, Adrien says he must have the wrong technique first, so he tries to get advice from Mary, which is really about Ladybug. So he's still trying to pursue Ladybug at this point, giving it more chances, but more episodes past, we see that it doesn't work out with Ladybug, so at the end of the season, he starts moving away from Ladybug due to heartbreak after heartbreak. If it's not the technique,
Maybe it's time to change targets. Do you ever get the feeling that you're stuck, Kagami? No matter what you do, it's the same old story over and over again, that things will never, ever change?
Well, Casanova, you got yourself a new contender?
No way. Ladybug's the only one I love. But
Ladybug doesn't love you, so maybe it's about time you changed your tune, right?
to just state it out there, in Heart Hunter, Adrien's closer to Kagami since he's trying it out. Mary is also trying it out with Luka, should I keep going with Adrien and feeling this way or start something new? Luka and Kagami happen to like them back. There's a reason both sides' confessions happen pretty early before this, guys. They seem cool, too. Both Adrien and Marinette comment that they are talented people. They're literally open doors. Adrien and Marinette also seem to want to be happier and want something to relieve the pain. This expression makes sense, and he's sort of returning the favor, or the feelings, like how Marinette's ready to hear the tune. 𝐴𝐺𝐵𝐼 and 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴 are an escape. In 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴 as seen by Marinette, Marinette says that what she finds, keywords, the most impressive about 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴 is his ability to tell how people are feeling. It's something she likes about him, but it also further shows this consideration that she needs right now. On Adrien's side, he mentions how 𝐴𝐺𝐵𝐼 is the type of girl that knows what she wants. Again, it could be something he likes about her, but it also makes me think of a sense of stability that he needs that she might be able to help him with. I mean, come on, his emotions are everywhere. 𝐵𝐺𝐵𝐼 and Adrien also have a lot in common with their strict protective parents.
It's not every day we can escape from everything they expect of us.
It's a good thing Adrien's found someone he can get out of the house with at last.
Instant bond. And so 𝐵𝐺𝐵𝐼 offers even more emotional support in a different area. But it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Because it seems that Adrien's feelings for Marinette and Ladybug's for Cat Noir have a stronger foundation, I'm confident that they will ultimately relieve their pain through Marisha!
Find love in Marinette, find love in Marinette, find love in Marinette. And Marinette, find love in Cat Noir, find love in Cat Noir. Find love in Cat Noir.
𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴 and 𝐵𝐺𝐵𝐼 probably aren't the only ones that remind Adrien and Marinette of their love interests either.
You're our everyday Ladybug. What if Marinette were Ladybug? Ladybug and Marinette are the same person.
Doesn't make any sense. Marinette is Marinette and Ladybug is...
Marinette.
I love Adrien. Cat Noir's not anywhere near as perfect as Adrien.
I must add something. Let's take a look at 𝐶𝑚𝑒 Weather 2's ending.
Understand, don't worry. No, Marinette couldn't possibly be in love with me. She's just a friend who loves fashion. Besides, there's 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴.
OMG, he's so upset when he concludes that Marinette's just a friend after what she says. And he says, besides, there's 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴, which is why he isn't pursuing her if not Ladybug. Watching this again! He won't hold her back! This is another reason he probably jumps to 𝐵𝐺𝐵𝐼 so fast. And sad music playing, and that scene he watches them go with the pig face. Yes, it means exactly what I theorized.
It's just someone who has similar writing, that's all.
Sad boys, OMG. He's been wondering about her feelings and is upset that she apparently doesn't like him. Hearts! With him staring at her card with a smile and Marinette on the side. This actually seems to be a better parallel with 𝗺𝗲𝗏. Marinette keeps calling herself a friend in the same episode, and that should make the confusion worse.
See you tomorrow at school. Love, your friend, Marinette.
Your friend from school, Marinette, just brought you these lessons you missed today. She copied them out for you by hand. She wanted me to tell you she did it for you as a friend.
You did this, and you did this, you dummies! Marinette also denies her feelings on multiple occasions.
I was in love with the statue, not with you. If I'd feel anything for you, it wouldn't be like for that statue, rather like for a regular human being. We should go and skate at the ice rink more often.
You mean just you and me?
No, of course not, because, you know, we should take the whole gang there. 𝘀𝐶𝐿𝐴, 𝐵𝐺𝐵𝐼, Alia. Oh, I'm so not into you. I mean, sure, I'm interested in you, but, not in that way.
I was disappointed, by the way. I thought he knew better in this scene, but I guess he knows it, but he's in denial, that's all. Wait, thinking about it, Adrien specifically remembers this scene. Watch this clip again.
I'm glad to have you as one of my fans.
I'm not glad that you're just one of my fans or friend in the French dub, is maybe what this sad expression actually means. Puppeteer 2 also shows that Adrien thinks his relationship with Marinette is so weak that she doesn't even see him as a friend for some reason.
Does she hate me? I'm sure I did something to mess up our friendship by accident.
No! Don't leave me alone with him! Of course I like you. Well, but not like that. What I mean is, you're not exactly a good friend, you know?
Okay. And what am I to you?
You're... toilets!
I didn't necessarily see it as romantic when he keeps thinking about making it up to Marinette throughout the episode, since it's really similar to when they first met. She starts out hating him, and he also tries to make up for it. If she has the status as one of his first friends, that's not something he wants to lose. If he decides to go for her and she doesn't like him back romantically, that could put something between any friendship.